Good day, OA. My name is Lionel Garcia. I'm your VP of Sales and Agent Development, and I'm excited because, as I do every single Monday, it is Motivation Monday time. And, I think it's really great that we get to do this every week. I love the fact that so many of you come in and tune in. I love the feedback that I'm getting. It seems to be really resonating with those of you who are watching it. But then I just came back from our advanced training over in Mexico, and we had a few agents that we connected with, and they said, "Where do I find your Motivation Mondays, Lionel?" So do me a favor, as you're watching this or you watch the replay, share it with somebody. I'm going to tag everyone again and I'm going to share it as many times as I can. But I think there is some value in some of the things that we talk about. I think there's value in just pausing for the day, especially on a Monday, which is usually quite crazy for people, to just have a moment to and reflect and maybe even learn something new. So I want to share with you some of those. Let's talk about those wins of the week. What are your W's? Be it personal, be it professional. What are you excited about? What are your wins of the week? And I know we have a few of you watching now, so feel free to chime in and put it in the chat. I'll start with mine. My professional win is I just came back from Mexico and it was wonderful. I got to hang out with close to 40 of our agents that were looking to take their business to the next level. And they flew out to Mexico. We went to Playa Mujeres and stayed at the TRS Coral in Playa Mujeres and spent 5 days really diving deep into suppliers, into technology, into marketing and social media on how to best work and grow and build their business. So that was my professional win. I also have a personal win. I know I moved recently to Jacksonville, but I'm also building a pool. So my personal win is that that pool is being built and it's crazy. It's going to be done sooner than we expected. And we're really, really, really excited about that pool that's upcoming. Oh, great. I see a comment here, which is wonderful. Oh, Mike, didn't get to see you last week in Mexico, but I'll get to see you next week. Yes, we are hosting another training next week. I guess that's another professional win, is that I get to head over to Vancouver, out to the West Coast, and we're going to take the Caribbean Princess down from Vancouver over to LA and host a group of travel professionals looking to take their group business to the next level. And that's going to be our Groups 201 course. And we're really excited about that. So, yes, Mike, I will see you there. That's going to be awesome. So, please feel free to chime in. Give me your take. What are your wins? Here we go. Tammy, you will also be on the Groups 201 cruise. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. So, what are other of your wins? Let me know. Now, this week, we're going to talk about public speaking tips. And you're probably thinking, Lionel, did you forget who you're talking to? We're travel professionals. We don't do public speaking. You might be right. You might not be doing public speaking right now, but it doesn't mean you can't do public speaking because guess what? A cruise night, a travel night, hosting a booth at a farmer's market. Maybe some of you might do a radio show. Some of you might take on a leadership role or mentor role with some other travel professionals. Some of you might be hosting social media channels or doing YouTube videos. So public speaking may be part of what you need to build your business. And so I thought it'd be really helpful to kind of talk about why public speaking matters in travel and why this matters to you, and then layer it up and top it off with some tips, things for you to consider. And it was really funny because in preparing for this topic this week, Dan and Stacy and I were all talking about different things and different tips. So as you have some tips, feel free to chime in. Give me your tips. What works for you? What do you like doing, or what do you do to prepare to get yourself going? But it was funny because one of the ideas or tips that came up is to picture your audience naked. I think that can be quite frightening, to be honest with you, depending on what your audience is. If you have to picture them naked, it could be a little scary. Maybe it's even more nerve wracking. So let's go back to the topic. Why public speaking matters in travel. Number one, it builds authority because when you speak well from a place of knowledge and know what you're talking about, it it allows people to believe you and see you as that trusted authority. And really, our word is everything that we have. So speaking well in public matters so that you could build that authority. Next is it strengthens client relationships because as you speak confidently, as you speak in travel and publicly to your clients, it's going to give them the belief in you. It's going to forge that relationship. One of the things that I really think that works for me is that I'm authentic, and it comes across really clear that everyone knows that when I'm speaking to them, I mean what I say and I say what I mean, and I'm coming from a genuine place. So that's a reason why public speaking matters in travel is because you want to be able to strengthen and build that relationship with your clients. It also opens new opportunities. It is quite fascinating to me. Some of the people who are in our business today that we see as leaders in our business, we look to them as leaders, as guidance, as people who were like, wow, they have so much to say. They know so much. They are just very good public speakers with a lot of knowledge, just like you and me, but they're excellent public presenters, public speakers, and they have had keys and doors open for them to so many opportunities. It is quite fascinating. So, working on your public speaking ability can be very beneficial to you because it could truly open new opportunities. All right, we got a comment come in, so let's check out what it is. Oh, I love this. So, Michael, doing Facebook Lives helps build confidence. Oh man, 100%, Michael. You're right. I need to see your Facebook Live. I know, Michael, you get to follow me quite a bit and see what I do, but 100% doing these matter because there's no one watching me except whoever's on the other side of this camera. And right now, there's a few eyeballs on me, which is really neat, but it really just replays and it really does build that confidence. So, great call. That's so true. All right. Another reason why it's public speaking matters in travel is and I think those truly are the reasons why, right? You got it builds authority, strengthens client relationships, and it opens up new opportunities. So, what are some tips? And now we're talking about tips for you in public speaking. And here's the thing: yes, once you're up on stage, right? I would love for you to share some of your tips. But once you're up on stage, what works? Or maybe even what do you do before you get on stage? What are those tips? What are you doing? I can tell you for me, I don't picture people naked. I think that's really weird. But I can tell you what I do is sometimes, believe it or not, I still do get nervous. And I'll go to the bathroom where there's a mirror and I will look at myself in the mirror, usually right in front of the sink, and I'll pick it all up like this and I'll jump. I'll do jumping jacks, whatever it takes to kind of shake the nerves off and just remind myself that I know what I'm going to be talking about and I am qualified to speak on what I'm going to be speaking about. And so why not me? And I love doing that. And that works. Another thing that I do is I usually pack I like to wear a sports coat when I present, at least especially on my supplier days. And as soon as I would put on my sports coat, I put it on, it was almost like my coat of armor. And I knew if I had that on, I was going to be great. At least that's how I felt. And you know what? Many of you felt that as well. So those are some of the tips that I do. But let's talk about some of the tips for you. I see some comments in here. So, Joyce, thank you. I appreciate you with the nice comments. Joyce, I think the world of you and how you speak and you present yourself and your business. Tammy, the best preparation is being prepared. Oh my goodness. Yes, that is 100% correct. I have some things here to talk about that. And a good personal pep talk helps too. Great job, Tammy, for sure. So, yes. And then we got Michelle. She's going to be at the Groups 201. I can't wait, Michelle. See you there. And Joyce, you are the subject matter expert. You are passionate about the industry and the shows in every presentation. And I think that goes back to being that prepared person. So, thank you, Tammy and Joyce, for that because here you go. Tip number one is know your audience. And the only way you're going to know your audience is to prepare. Know who you're speaking to, what are they looking to learn and glean from you and from what you're about to share with them so that you could tailor that message to that audience. Because if you click with them, it's a no-brainer. It's going to be a win. It's going to be amazing. So make sure to do that. Number two, this one is one that I struggle with, just being honest. My transparency is practice, practice, practice. You want to be able to rehearse out loud. You want to be able to maybe put yourself in front of the mirror and run through what you want to run through. Here's the thing. For me personally, I practicing might actually make me worse, in my opinion, because then I overthink things. Maybe I may come across scripted, and I don't want to come across scripted. Oh, or if I do get it scripted or like memorized, if I miss a word, then I feel like you picked up that I wasn't being authentic. And so for me, even though this is a very good tip, is to practice, practice, practice. It doesn't specifically work for me, and it may not work for you. But if you've never done public speaking before, it would be super valuable to you to practice. Put together your thoughts, maybe put it on an outline. Like I have an outline on this screen. I'm sure you all look at me looking over, glancing over. I'm not afraid of it. Why? Because it's what helps me keep on track. So I keep my outline and I can see what I want to talk about, make sure I hit the points, but I'm connecting with all of you and I'm delivering it for you. So that's an idea here, but really practice, especially if you've not been public speaking, that's something you want to do. All right, let's jump back into some of the questions here or comments. Another person coming on. Info on the training. So Joanne, I'm not going to talk about that training right now. I'm so sorry, but if you want to learn more, you could go to MagTap under our training. But the one coming up is sold out. And then Tammy, look at people while you speak. Oh, I love this. Find the friendly faces to focus on. That is a great tip. But here's my only like devil's advocate to that find the friendly face is what if you find the person that's not a friendly face? What do you find? You find the person that's like this and they're questioning everything you say and they have their arms crossed like this, which means they're not listening to you, they're not engaging. Oh, I hate finding that person. So, yes, to your point, Tammy, keep looking, right? Keep looking. Find the person with that friendly face. Find that person that's bought in to what you're talking about and keep connecting. I love that. Brian, I run through it with my wife a couple of times and I write an outline, but not with the goal of memorizing. I love that, Brian. Great idea. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, let's keep going with other things that you can do. Wait, I got to get rid of this comment here. All right. Next thing you want to do is start strong. So, for example, when I'm doing this with all of you, I start with something positive, something uplifting, right? We talk about sharing our wins. We talk about something that wants to grab people's attention. So maybe you tell a story or tell a joke, or you could do like me. I got to tell you a fun fact, a little bit. Kind of make you fun of me a little bit. My first presentation was when I was 21 years old. I was in New Orleans presenting on behalf of Royal Caribbean to a group of over 450 travel professionals who all belonged to what at the time was a host agency. It doesn't exist anymore. And I got up there super nervous. It was my first time in such a large room. Oh my goodness. It was a huge ballroom at the Sheraton on Canal Street in New Orleans. And I felt like it went on for days. And I get up there and I tell a joke. Because it says start strong, tell a joke. What happens if your joke doesn't land? Nobody laughed. It was awful. I was mortified. My nerves now just went whoop out, shot above me. I was now even more nervous than when I started because nobody laughed at my joke. So what did I do? Quick thinking. I returned back with, whoa, tough crowd. Well, that was all I needed to do to kind of break the ice because now people started laughing and realized that I knew that I was not the best joke teller. And to be fair, I'm not. My wife and kids always make fun of me and tell me that I only have a collection of dad jokes, which, hey, so be it. The shoe fits. I'm a dad. I tell dad jokes. So that is, you want to start strong. So you want to make sure you start with some kind of story or a joke or question or a statistic, something to grab the attention of your audience. Next, you want to keep it clear and concise. And here's the thing, many of us here in the industry, right? We all know the jargon, we know the acronyms, especially in travel. Oh my goodness, there are so many acronyms. So keep the acronyms to a minimum or don't even use them at all. Try to stay the course. Or it depends on the audience, obviously. So make sure that since you know your audience, you got to keep it clear and concise and get to the point, right? Maybe start with introduction, a story, that statistic, then go into talking about what you're going to talk about and then talk about what you said you were going to talk about. And then at the end, remind them about what you talked about and a takeaway, something to walk away with. So that's how you're going to keep it clear and concise. Here's the other thing, use your visuals wisely. So many of us sometimes think a presentation requires a PowerPoint. Here's the truth, it doesn't, right? Sometimes video might be the key. Sometimes it could be a drawing. Sometimes it can be a PowerPoint. But even with PowerPoints, you might want to show off how much PowerPoint skills you have and how you have transitions for every slide and how you have different fonts or flyovers or this happens or that happens or the slides go like this. And here's the thing, that's very, very distracting. So you want to use your visuals wisely and make sure that you're using visuals that support the topic that you're trying to do that applies to your audience. Also, this one goes back to like what Tammy was saying about engaging with your audience. Make that eye contact. One of the things I love to do is, yes, you may find that sour person in the audience that's has his or her arms crossed and is giving you side eye, or maybe they're looking down on their phone and they're not even connecting with you. That happens too. Or worse yet, oh my goodness, you're speaking and you're super engaged and you feel like you're hitting it home and there's someone sleeping in the crowd. So engage with your audience. Depending on the opportunity, guess what? Walk up to that person that's sleeping and start talking there. I will wake them up. Or own the room by carrying the conversations and connecting one place. Start over here, look over here, then look over here, then look over there. Or why not also walk? If you have stage, a big stage, don't just stay behind the podium. Walk, go from side to side, show your comfort. Here's another reason why you want to do that too. If you're nervous, walking can help make those nerves go away, but also make it seem that you're less nervous than you really are. All right, I have had a few more comments here that come in. I love this. This has been so great. I love this. So, Joyce, you tell a personal story to connect with the audience. This way they understand your connection with travel and why you're so passionate about it. I love that, Joyce. Yes, you are truly a rock star with this. You're so good at telling stories. I think storytelling is an art and you should be working on that. So great job, Joyce. I love that. And Michelle, when you tell a story about yourself, it seems to make more relatable to people. Yes, that's another exactly a great way to engage with your audience. I love this feedback. So thank you. This is wonderful. Okay, let's jump in to the next one. Manage your nerves with breathing. Remember, I told you I go to the bathroom, I shake it all out, or I do jumping jacks. That can help, but also breathing, connecting with yourself, taking some deep breaths, breathing in your nose and then out your mouth. And just focus on that breathing, focus on the in, focus on the out. This will help you. And don't ever be afraid to pause. And we're going to get to pausing here a little bit because pausing is so important when it comes to public speaking. But don't be afraid to pause. Because what happens to a lot of us when we speak, especially if we're new to public speaking, is that we feel like we have to fill in every gap with something. We have to say something. So then we fall guilty of filler words like and ah, or other words that we might use that we didn't even intend to say until we rewatch our presentation. So don't be afraid to pause and breathe. Gather your thoughts and then execute your plan. Lastly, you want to reflect and improve. So, one of the things that I've gotten really accustomed to is evaluating myself from several feet above, almost like looking at myself as I do the presentation. I also love when someone in the audience records me and shows it to me because then I get to see What are those filler words that I used? One of them is like, or the or the And so I like to see which are those filler words, or did I make the eye contact with the people? Did I own the room? Those are all questions that I look at to reflect and then improve my message. And one of the great ways to also reflect and improve is, if you notice, a lot of these speakers, especially in our travel segment, they focus on one topic, and they just get that one topic and they improve it and they sharpen it and they make it better and then better, to the point where they've become experts now in that field. So don't be afraid to reflect and improve on what you're doing. So those are just some tips that can help you as a travel professional in public speaking. So let's talk about this motivational moment. Public speaking isn't about being perfect. It's about being authentic. Be prepared and passionate. And I think we covered all of that here today. And that's really where it comes down to: be prepared, be passionate, and be real. Be true to yourself, because people can read that, they can feel that. And if you're authentic and you're real, you that's half the battle. People will buy into your message. We do have a comment here. I love this. Let's see. Yeah. See, yeah is another filler word. Yes, exactly, Selena. That's another filler word, and it happens. Listen, we all do it. We all do it. All right. So here's your call to action. I'm going to need your help. We got a lot of people watching this. We're broadcasting on LinkedIn. We're broadcasting on YouTube. We're broadcasting on Facebook. I want you to share what is your biggest public speaking challenge, and maybe what are you doing to overcome that. And then listen, if you want extra credit, why don't you tag somebody that you love hearing speak? I'm going to tell you, I love hearing Charlie Silva from CLIA. Oh my goodness. He is so eloquent, he's well versed, and he knows how to grab your attention and help bring you along this journey. I think Charlie Silva is one of the best speakers we have in our industry, and I so enjoy hearing him speak. So why don't you share what is your public speaking challenge? And for extra points, tag somebody, do an at, or tag somebody who you love listening to speak, that motivates you and inspires you. I think it's awesome to hear. And you know what? It doesn't hurt to give them a shout out and help them feel better, so that they know, not better because they already feel, most of them probably feel great, but to help them know that their words, their messages really resonate with you and connect with you. So let us wait. We got one more comment that came through. Hello, Miss Lisa Saffron. Nice to see you. So let us close with our quote of the day. This is from Mark Twain. I kind of like this one. The right word may be effective, but no word was ever as effective, ready, as a rightly timed pause. So notice when you hear someone who's such a great speaker, or that you believe is a great speaker, they have that moment of pause. They pause for effect. They pause to help you catch up to their message. They pause to build anticipation, or build to help you, wanting you to speak more. It is quite amazing how powerful a word, which is not really a word, a pause can be when you're speaking publicly. So with that, we got one more message. Ah, Thank you very much, Lisa. I appreciate the comment. Thank you, thank you. I love that. So yes, let us end with let me go back. So with that, we read the quote of the day, how important a pause is. So with that, I want to say thank you so much for joining this week's Motivation Monday. I had a lot of fun preparing for this. I had a lot of fun sharing it with you. I enjoyed the engagement that we all had. It was awesome. So don't forget, do your call to action here. Go ahead and share what is your biggest challenge in public speaking, and maybe even share what are you doing to overcome it. What are you going to do next to overcome it? And for extra points, tag somebody, share this message with somebody that motivates you, that inspires you, that you really enjoy listening to when they speak. So with that, I want to say thank you. I'll see you next week. We'll have another Motivation Monday. I'll tell you what we're going to be covering. I'm going to pull it up here on my little agenda. We're going to be covering balancing multiple projects, something we all do every single day. So, without taking any more of your time, have a fantastic week. See you again soon. Bye bye.